Channel. My name is Tabitha, and today we're going to talk about emergency fund. Emergency fund is something that a lot of people talk about, and they also create the account so they can protect their financial standing, financial position. So, what is emergency funds and why is it important? And the tips are the topic of today that we're going to look at. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe for more videos and I will appreciate your support. So let's get into the agendas of today, and some of them I've already said them. So what is emergency fund and the example of emergency funds? Why is it important for you to have your emergency fund ready for you, and how does it really help you to achieve your financial goal? So example of emergency fund, the importance of having your emergency funds, tips, and example on how you can easily build your emergency funds. And then later on, how do you keep it? So how do you keep your emergency funds? Do you keep it in the same account that you use every day, or do you keep it in a separate account? And how much interest do you wish to earn on your emergency fund? Are you investing it in investment that can easily be converted into cash, or are you just keeping it as cash? And what are your benefits when that you get from the company that you're keeping your emergency fund with? So let's look at it one by one. So one of them is, what is emergency fund? So this is a lump sum of money that you can keep as cash, as liquid as possible, so you can easily access it. You use it to pay for unexpected expenses and maybe anything that come up that is not part of your regular expenses. So people keep it, have emergency fund for up to 3 to 6 months of their expenses. So this is the easier way that you can easily measure it, because you don't want to put more money on that account and then hand maybe $1 on that account every month, when you could hand something more with that money. So it should not exceed 6 months of your monthly expenses. Otherwise, you will suffer inflation risk of losing money because it's not growing. More information on emergency fund. So what are more information that you need to know about emergency fund? So most of people, they keep it as cash reserve. They don't have to invest it in anything, just in case if something come up, they have the access to the money instead of trying to resell or maybe try to lose money on the investment because they want cash. It can be used for large or small planned unplanned bills or payments, so it can be either for that purpose. So those unplanned bills or payments, they must not be part of your routine monthly expenses, and that's when you know now these are unexpected expenses and they should be paid with an emergency fund account, from the emergency fund account. So more information on emergency funds. So what do you need to know and what do you need to add on this? Your personal perspective on emergency funds. How would you like to design yours? Okay. So what are some of the examples for emergency funds? Things like car repairs for people who are driving, and then also job loss. Some companies, they might not give you proper notice, so you can find another job. So if you all of a sudden lose your job, and then you will have to have now to look for money to pay for your expenses, to pay, because life does not stop when you stop working, right? So you have to have that emergency fund set aside. So for that, how, like for example, a time I was moving, I didn't have a job ready for me in the next city, but I have emergency fund that I used to pay for at least 3 months before I get a job. So I was less worried, or because of that money that I had in my emergency fund. So health problems that prevent you from working, they are also considered as unexpected expenses, and broken appliances. So all those make up unexpected expenses. So what is it that is more important is that why do you have emergency fund? So how does it really help you to achieve your financial goal and also protect you from having anxiety of trying to look for money if things arise? So it handle unexpected expenses without getting you into debt. So if you don't have that emergency funds, you might end up getting loans that will cost you so much. So that is not advisable, because it will keep taking you backward, because you have to pay cost of borrowing that high interest. So importance of emergency fund also help you to have financial control. And more on importance of emergency fund. So it does give you a peace of mind, because like, for example, the example that I gave, like I could pay 3 to 4 months, then so I can take my time to look for the job. So it gives you that peace of mind. It also protects your investment. So you don't have to go and sell your long-term investment to get cash to pay for unexpected expense. Okay, so another important thing is that you have to separate it from the account you use for day-to-day transaction. So this help you not to use the convenience things, right? Sometimes you want to take money from here and you never put it back, and it you really ruin the purpose of that account. It was supposed to be for emergency fund. So if you can separate it from your account that you use for your day-to-day transaction, that would really keep it safe for long time until you get those unexpected expenses. So all of those things really made up the importance of emergency fund. It gives you peace of mind, it protects your investment, it protects you from high interest loan, and more and more and more. So that will really help you achieve your financial goal if you stick to your plan and follow it through. Tips to build it. So how can you easily build it? Because we have a lot of things going about. We have a lot of things that are going on in our life. So if you can have like a plan on how you can do it, how quick do you want to save your emergency fund, and then that's good. So if you have create a saving habit, so you have to have a goal, specific amount every month. So if you decide to put $50, you be specific and be consistent. Create consistent contribution, which are automated. So if you have automated some of this amount that you decide to be saving every month for your emergency fund, it will really grow quick and you will surprise yourself. So more tips on how to build your emergency fund. So we have already looked at having that saving habit in place, creating your goal, and more on that. So all this one, we're creating more saving habits on the house. You have to be regularly checking your progress. So this is part of the process too. You have to check how far are you. Are you in 1 month emergency fund saving? Is it 2 months now? Is it 3 months now? Do you want to take it to 6 months? So that thing really help you write down what you have accomplished and what you can do next. So you have to check your progress and see what more you can do. Where can you get extra money to put there? Right? Celebrate your success, treat yourself once you hit the goal. So it give you more motivation, right? Sometimes you give yourself prizes so that it gives you that sense of mindset that if you do this, this is the consequence of doing it right. Tips to build emergency funds. So we have seen how creating good saving habit can really keep you on track and make you build your emergency funds quick and efficiently. Manage your cash flow. So cash flow is the biggest part of financial management, right? It helps you to know where you stand financially. So knowing when the money is coming in and when the money is leaving. This is where you control everything. You know who are you giving your money to, and you know who is paying you for whatever service that you give to them. So that one is good. You have to know your credit card, your spending, and your income. If your expenses and spending are more than your income, and then you need to do something. Either you make more income or you spend less. So it depends on individual situation. Adjust your saving and spending. So if you can adjust your spending and saving, it might help you build your emergency funds quickly. Yeah, so maybe there's something that you was spending money on that you think like, oh, it's not necessary for now. Maybe I'll keep it for temporary time, and then later on I can go back to my thing. So it depends on what you prioritize and what you need to do as individual. Adjust due dates for your bills. So this one also help you have some cash so you can save. So my internet bill is high, maybe $85 a month. So sometime I negotiate with my internet provider that this month, let me just pay half of that and then take that $40 and put it somewhere else, maybe toward my emergency fund or invest it. Next month, I can tell them maybe I would pay a full amount because maybe this month I don't have that much obligation. So it really depends on what you really doing with your stuff. Tips to build emergency funds. So we have already looked at how you can create good saving habit, and then now how to manage your cash flow so you know where your money is going and where to get more cash to put toward your emergency fund. Take advantage of one-time opportunities to save. This is number 3 on the ways you can easily build your emergency fund. So every year, not all Canadians that get tax refund, but some people get a very huge tax refund. So even if you don't use the whole check toward building your emergency fund, maybe you can take like maybe 10% of that and put it in your emergency fund, which is good because it will protect you and your finances in the long run. So there also people who get holidays and birthday gifts. So some people get them in terms of monetary value. That one you can also use it toward your emergency fund. So it depends. It doesn't matter where you get the money as long as you're putting it towards something that can protect you in the long run. So another tips or to build your emergency funds. So we already checked on saving habits. We see how we can manage our cash flow. We also look at how we can take advantage of one-time opportunities like tax refund. Make your saving automatic. This one save time and energy. So you set it up, make it recurrent, especially if it's a less amount every month. So you just have to make sure that your balances from your main checking account are not low, so you don't end up paying NSF fees, which is the non-sufficient fund on there. Some of them are very high. They end up charging you $50 for having less money, and that $50 could go toward your emergency fund instead. So let's look at more on how you can build it, how you're building your emergency fund. We have already looked at so many points like saving habit, how to manage your cash flow, and then also taking advantage of opportunities, one-time opportunities, saving through your work. Some companies, they let you split your paycheck between your checking account and your saving account. And this make it much easier because the money is not reaching you to your checking account direct, so you can spend it on other things. So if you have already decided like, oh, part of this paycheck will go toward my emergency fund until a certain time, and then that will go direct there. So you don't have to think about it, or maybe when are you going to send it, which day is good, and all those stuff. So saving through work is another point that can help you build your emergency fund. So more on like tips on how to build emergency funds. So we have already looked at many of them. And now we are on some of them as we wind up to finish our video. So here we are looking at how some people can eliminate some of their expenses that they are not really necessities. So if they are not really necessities, and then maybe you can do away with them for like maybe 3 months, 6 months, and that different will be fair in your account. Let's say you want to be, some people decide to cook at home instead of buying food outside. So instead of spending maybe 250 on food a month, you end up maybe paying like 150 on food if you are alone or you're single. Make your coffee at home and bring it to work. Yeah, some coffee shops can charge you a lot of money. Maybe you buy coffee, you end up buying biscuit, you end up buying this and this. So is that one also, you can maybe sacrifice for a short time if you like your coffee and you don't want to do away with your coffee time. So you can do it maybe for a short time. Do a few, do like a short time sacrifice so you can achieve that goal and then go back to your normal way of doing things. Use public transport instead of your car. For some people, you can, this one can save you some money for a few months and then you go back to your routine. It doesn't really make a difference. So more on the tips on how to build emergency funds and how it is going to protect your financial position. So it's very important. We have already shared so many points, and I don't know which one can work for you and which one is not the best way to do it. So you can choose, and if you like this video, you can also add some of the tips that you think we can use to properly achieve our emergency fund. Eliminate on non-essential food choices from your grocery list. Maybe some things that you end up like buying them on your trip to grocery store, thing that you might end up not using. So those one can leave your grocery list. Use discount coupons, cashback offers, and take advantage of special. Yeah, especially in restaurant, they always have those special. And as we wind up, let's look at more tips on how we can build it, or let's see on how we can build it. So one of the other factors that can also affect emergency fund building is like your goals or things that change in your life that can affect you building your emergency fund. What is new in your family? What is new as at personal level or situation at work? What has changed? So if you also review that, it will give you more ideas on how you can go about building an emergency fund. Let's look at one things like reviewing your goals on the side of family. So what happened when something changed in your family? Does it really affect how you save on your emergency fund, and why? So some of these things are like new baby. So if you have a new baby, you now have dependence. So the more you have dependent, the more you need that emergency fund to grow and be at that level that you want it to be. Again, maybe you have a new house, so that new house will come with insurance. They will come with insurance mortgage insurance. It will come with like maybe maintenance fees and all those stuff, property tax. So it's not going to be as the same as when you were renting. So that thing will also influence how you build your emergency fund. So let's say, for example, you don't want to lose your job if you're paying mortgage, because it will end up like it's screwing you up for the whole of your life, because you might end up losing the house and all those things. In fact, if you have the house, you need to have a big emergency fund that can bail you out just in case if you lose your income. An increase in your property tax, an increase in electricity bill, all these changes can affect your emergency fund and how you want to build it. More on to reviewing your goals, so it can really, so you can understand how you can save for emergency fund. So family, whether it's individual or work situation changing, how does it really help you save more emergency funds? So increase increase your emergency fund, right? How do you increase? What influence you have on your emergency fund? You want to increase your emergency fund, you have to make sure that you know how to file your tax so you can get more tax refund. What are some of the things that you have to do so you can get more tax refund, get a pay raise? And if you think like you're providing value to your company and they're underusing your skill, that they should really raise your pay based on what the value that you can add to the company. Sell something. Maybe you have to sell vehicle, jewelry, furnitures, and get money as a gift. So a lot of stuff that you can get to increase your emergency fund. Like some people who are specialized in vehicle, they can buy and sell vehicle, right? Jewelry, furnitures. For me, I like clothes. So if I buy clothes on discount, I go and resell them for something at the end of the day. So that is it for now. So let's look at the bank that is recommended for for saving. So a lot of people that I reviewing your goals. So more on reviewing your goals. More on reviewing your goals. So how do you really increase your emergency funds? Increase your emergency fund. So get bonus at work. Not everyone get bonus at work. Some of bonus are attached to performance. So like for example, last time I was working as a financial representative at a company, and part of my duties was to sell the product. So the more sale I make, the more sale I have more bonus. So this is only attached to performance. Now let's look at where you can keep your emergency fund. So where do you keep your emergency fund? Based on my experience and people that I follow, so that money has to be kept as cash or in an investment that can easily be converted into cash. But most of the time, it's advisable for you to keep it as cash. So EQ Bank is one of the online banks that people use to keep their an emergency fund, because it will keep it as cash and liquid, but it will also earn 250% interest. Yes, so that one is really huge. So if you keep 3 to 6 months of your income, of your expenses as an emergency fund, you can earn a very significant amount of 250% as of interest. You have to put it in an account that will not charge you no fees or low transaction fees. This will allow you, this company has to allow you to make a withdrawal without penalties. So if there's penalty and then you are losing that much money, and also if there is high fees and then you're also losing money, so you're not benefiting in this case. So interest is good for this bank, and also no or lower transaction fee, and you can withdraw your money anytime. So that brings us to the end of emergency fund. And if you like the video that we just presented, please subscribe for more videos, and